Hello and welcome to the Mortgage Loan Officer Podcast. I am your host, Frank Garay, and we are brought to you by the Mortgage Marketing Animals. We've got a great podcast lined up for you today. I'm going to be talking to my good friend, Richard Smith. Big cheers for him right now. We're going to be talking about, getting some lists together, some good lists, real lists, genuine lists that we can use to build our business. Richard Smith. Coach Richard Smith, how you doing, brother? Good to have you here.
Man, I'm doing good. I'm doing good. How are you doing?
Man, I'm good, busy, got a lot of stuff going on. Thanks for asking, but it feels good, feels good to be,
Oh yeah.
you know,
Appreciate
uh,
you having me on.
oh, sure, man. Yeah, I'm glad we're going to talk about this because, of course, Loan Officer Breakfast Club is part of the Mortgage Marketing Animals.
Yep.
And if people are not familiar with the Mortgage Marketing Animals, we are huge believers in making outbound calls. And we are huge believers in making sure that if we're going to be calling real estate people, real estate agents, that we're calling what we call qualified real estate agents, because you might as well, right, Coach? You might as well, if we're going to call an agent, we might as well call one that's got business
Exactly.
rather than one that doesn't have any business,
Right.
So, and that's where you come in. That's where you come in, and you can help in a lot of different ways. I know that. Let's get into it. First of all, when did when did qualified agent lists? So this is where you go, guys, to get a list of qualified agents from Coach Richard. Qualifiedagent.list.com. When did this start?
Oh wow. Gosh, it must have been about 5 years ago, 4 or 5 years ago, when Carl and I were talking about, you know, we always want to get qualified agents, but how do we find them?
Yeah.
It's like we're trying to get a list from a title company or from a real estate broker, and they don't want to share the lists and things like that. And we thought about, why don't we come up with a way to build the list? And so, because I also help loan officers hire virtual assistants.
Right.
I thought I could use some of my team to help put those lists together. So we figured out a way to kind of comb different places across the web, to get the right information, and then get the virtual assistants to actually put the list together. So yeah, they put them together one agent at a time to build those qualified agent lists.
I've noticed that because I am no stranger to qualifiedagent.list.com. And just so you guys know, Richard, I have bought and paid for several lists from you guys,
Yep.
and they have been fantastic. And I think the thing that I like too, one of many things I like about working with you and getting the lists from you is, well, first of all, there's the convenience of not having to look it up and figure out how to export it and do all that kind of crazy stuff, right? It just
Right.
shows up as a spreadsheet. You're good to go. But also, I've asked you for unique things too, right? I've asked you for, this many buy sides and this many sell sides, or, you know what I mean? Or I don't care about any of those things. Just give me everybody in this area or what
Right.
have you. And so your team is cool about being able to, really deliver whatever it is that you're looking for. But tell me about this. A lot of people might think, "Oh, I want a list in Dallas, Texas, so Richard's just going to pull off the Dallas, Texas list off the shelf and dust it off and email it to me." But that's not how you guys operate, is it?
Nope, nope. What we do is, well, first we look to make sure that there hasn't been another list made. And so we don't use that list. We actually scrub it because we want to get everybody their own list. Sometimes there might be some duplicates here and there, but the majority are not. So when you're buying a list, like let's say Dallas, Texas, you're getting your own list, fresh list of qualified agents. The other cool thing is you can target where you want those agents from. So I'll give you an example. Frank, I actually jumped back into producing. And so what I did was I had my team build me a qualified agent list, and I had them, I specifically told them zip codes and counties that I wanted those lists from, because hey, if you're going to target realtors, you might as well target the ones that are actually doing, not just higher volume, but um, higher sale prices. So I know
Mm,
the areas that I want them to target. So
mm,
I'm hitting these agents that, their average sale price might be, this is Texas, so it's a little different from California, but
yeah.
the average sale price might be 500 plus.
Mm,
So I'm targeting a whole group of agents that I'm looking for, plus different areas of town. So yeah, you can pick and choose. You can do two different states, you can do two different cities, you can do many different counties and zip codes. So that's really helped.
it is cool. Yeah, you're right. I've done that with you guys before as well. If you recall, it's
Right.
like this county or these two counties or what have you, and yeah, and sometimes you kind of have to do multiple counties or l- multiple pocket areas because you want to get enough agents on that list. And when you what are you shooting for? Like when you deliver a list to somebody, how many agents are you shooting to have on that list?
So the advertising says we give 1,000 qualified agents. So, but our goal is to get anywhere between 1,000 and 1,500 agents for that list.
Mm,
So it's somewhere between 1,000 and 1,500,
yeah.
which is, way more than what you really need. But it's nice to have a whole big group, and you can, we send it on an Excel spreadsheet. We're not only given the cell numbers, the email addresses, but the name of their broker and the physical address. If you want to write handwritten notes,
Mm,
you can you know mess with Excel to do it however you want by areas and things like that. So,
mm.
but I always found it's better to have it more than to not have enough.
Yeah, and you've often typically delivered to me around, I think I usually get around 1,300 or something like that is what I
Okay,
usually wind up getting.
good.
And then the neat thing about it, guys, is that look, okay, th this is a numbers game. It's just the way it is. And in staying true to marketing animal form, right? If as an originator, me and Steve Cowles goes over this all the time. It's like, hey, you want to close 10 deals a month? Well, guess what? You need 20, the numbers, and there's a lot of math that goes into this, but it's a very simple formula. You times it by two. You need 20 qualified agents referring you business, right?
Right.
Now, there's also a process to get there, right? That you learn at Mortgage Marketing Animals. But to get 20 qualified agents, if you want to do 10 deals a month, referring you business, it has to start with a list, right? And that list, if you want to get 20, right? Now, Carl always says, out of all the people that I've had a meeting with and that I wind up following up with for 12 weeks, really, you're only going to get about 16% of those people, right? To start sending you business. Then you got to go backwards again. Well, if I'm only going to get 16%, what number is that of people that I've met with? And then what percentage of those people that I talk to or call out to will actually meet with me? So you go back and back and back. As you go back, you realize I need a pretty big list, right? I
Right.
need a pretty big list and I got to make a lot of calls. And the nice thing that's always comforted me when doing this with your lists is that it's like, I got 1,300, man.
Yeah.
Like, like, because you got to go through the no's and the don't answers and the voicemails and the rejections. You got to go through all that. It's just the way it is. You got to go through that.
Yep.
But if your list is big enough, you just don't have to worry about it. Like if I'm working with a list of 100 agents, I'm not going to find my 20. I'm just not. It's just not a big enough list.
True.
It just isn't. Okay, of qualified agents. It's not. And so that could be kind of stressful for an originator. Like it's like, man, I only got this many people I'm calling, and how am I going to get these agents? Well, you got to have a bigger list, right? You just need a big list. That way, even though I'm getting a no, I don't care. I got 1,294 more to
Exactly.
go. Like
Yep.
I'm gonna find my 20. I'm gonna find them if I do the plan, but it starts with the list. And so
Yeah.
you got you also help people too, don't you, Richard? Like someone bought a list from you last year, but now they want to refresh on that, right? How does that
Yep.
work?
Yeah, what we do is we basically refresh the list. We scrub it. to make sure that it doesn't have the same, agents that aren't, that if they're no longer doing, 8 or more buy sides in the last 12 months, but then we also add new to the list. So basically they're getting a whole new list that's scrubbed. And we do a discount for that. Yeah.
Yeah. See, that's nice because what we've learned in animals and just going through the process is with the markets changing and things changing, and is that who once was a qualified agent, last year is no longer a qualified agent this year,
Right.
because, it's not falling out of the sky anymore for them. And so, now they're no longer qualified. So it pays to refresh and make sure you're working with the top agents that are out there. And the other thing too that I would encourage you guys is this: they shoot for the stars, man. You can hit up Richard and his team and say, I don't want to see 8 buy sides. I want to see 20 buy sides, or I want to see 15 buy sides. You know what I mean?
Yep.
And you could tell Richard, I live in Vacaville, California. Just keep expanding that radius until you can build my list, whatever that is. But I gotta have at least 20 buy sides, and he'll do it. The team will work on it, do it. How long does it take turnaround to get them?
Right now it's about a week and a half.
Okay. Yeah, and this just kind of proves it's not that you're just going into some system you've got, pushing a button, exporting a list, and then emailing it. Congratulations, here's your
Right.
list. In 7 seconds, you've got your list. Your guys are going in there and actually doing the research.
Yeah, they're building it out, they're cross-checking, getting, like I said, the addresses, just to have a really good solid list that, there's rarely any mistakes. We've done, gosh, over 1,000 lists, and it's uh it's amazing the testimonials that I've heard. And then like you said, you do it yourself, and now I'm using my own list and working that list myself. And in fact, I had yesterday, I had a a call with an agent that's done 12 buy sides in the last 12 months. The call was amazing, and we ended up being on the phone for 45 minutes, and we're doing business together now. And it's like, before the list, it was a shot in the dark. You didn't
Totally.
know who you were meeting with or calling. You didn't know what kind of business they did. It's sometimes, I remember looking and seeing, I would always target the agents that were on Facebook, because that means they're doing a lot of business and they keep posting on Facebook about real estate. And I realized I'm sitting, let's say in a coffee appointment, and the agent closed one deal in the past year.
Yeah.
And I'm sitting there, not that, he or she isn't a good person and I don't want to spend time with them, but we only have so much time in a week. And we've got to talk. We have to know that these agents are doing business.
Right. If you're going to exercise the discipline and the consistency needed
Right.
to build relationships with agents, in order to, get business out of them, it just makes so much more sense to work off of a list where we can see production and we know what they're doing, and I would just say to anyone who's listening to this right now, or even watching it on YouTube, if you have any reservations about, okay, I get that list, but now I'm nervous about how do I approach them and that kind of a thing. Well, that's why you join us at Loan Officer Breakfast Club and
Yep.
dip your toe in the water for free with Mortgage Marketing Animals. Once you've dipped your toe in the water with us at Loan Officer Breakfast Club, you'll probably go, okay, these guys are legit and they can truly help me, work that list I got from qualifiedagentList.com properly so that I can actually get the business out of these agents, know how to approach them, know how to speak with them, that kind of a thing. So, well, good stuff, Richard. Congratulations on your success. And I know it was a big win when you launched this, and boy, I know the animals team and, all of us have really leaned on you quite a lot to get these lists, and you've done such a great job. You knock them out pretty doggone fast, and they're very accurate and very, very cost effective.
I appreciate that. Yeah,
Yeah.
we've helped a lot of people, and if it takes one less thing to worry about for a loan officer, just knowing that you're talking to the right agents, it's amazing. Yeah.
Yeah, it is. It really is. Okay, good. So what we'll do is we'll go ahead and sign off. I'll just tell you guys, if you want to learn more and see about getting a list done by Richard, just go to qualifiedagentlist.com. Very, very simple. right? Qualifiedagentlist.com. If you're listening to us on the Loan Officer Podcast Network, there'll be a link down below that you can click. If you're watching us on YouTube, there'll be a link down below that you can click. But if you're listening to us on iTunes or Spotify or something like that, just remember qualifiedagentlist.com. That's where you go. You can get your qualified agent list and get to work on some terrific agents that are doing great business right now. And if you need help understanding how to approach them, well, join us at Loan Officer Breakfast Club. It's free every Monday through Friday, 8:30 a.m. to 9 a.m. Eastern time. It's a Zoom call live. You know, Richard, we've had over 30,000 loan officers join Loan Officer Breakfast Club.
That's so awesome.
Yeah, we've got like 20,000 loan officers in the Facebook group. And we have every single day on Loan Officer Breakfast Club, we'll average between 550 to about 720 loan officers every day on the live Zoom call. And that's why I would encourage anyone who's listening, go there, learn, right? We'll help you so that when you get your list from Richard at qualifiedagentlist.com, you know what to do with it.
Yeah.
You know how to make it work.
And it works. And it's not that hard. It really isn't.
No, it's not. It's just picking up the phone and making some calls, man. You know, that's what it is. You got to know what to say. I mean, even the script isn't hard. It's super easy. It's just
right.
It's a numbers game. That's all it is. So anyways. All right. Well, Coach Richard Smith, thanks so much. Congratulations on everything. Qualified Agent List is where you guys want to go to get your agent list. And we'll take it from there. Any parting words for us, Coach?
No, just an honor to be on here today. And I appreciate you, man.
All right. Appreciate you too, brother. You guys have a great one. We'll catch up here with you next week on the Mortgage Loan Officer Podcast, brought to you by the Mortgage Marketing Animals. We'll see you. Bye-bye.